conference will now be recorded.
We'll begin with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon and welcome everybody to the November 27th Marion County Commission meeting. We begin with public comments. Lloyd, did you want to make some public comments?
Yeah, I do.
Could you come up to the microphone, Randy? Could you pop in there?
Mom and Dad said it's hell to get old. I thought they'd lie, but you know what? They're right.
I believed them every time they said it.
I didn't believe them.
I did.
Still better than the alternative.
Yes.
The reason I'm here is I had a little incident with the EMT this last 10 days.
Okay.
I fell down in my house and I couldn't get up. My wife is in Wichita. She's got a broken back and I was there by myself. I later, about 2 hours, tried to call my kids. I couldn't get no answer. So I called 911. And then they had all the doors locked. That's my fault. Well, they had to bust the door right. They asked me, I said, bust the door. Break it, open it up. And they did, and that's fine, no problem. Then I got there, and one of your ambulance, one of your men, told me, he said, if you ain't got anything, I said, you want to go to the hospital? I said, get me up. I said, I'll see how I feel. I got up, no broken bones, I was okay. I said, no, I don't want to be transferred. Well, he said, that ever happens again, he said, we're going to charge you for it. I guess that's why I pay my taxes. And I think that's entirely uncalled for. First of all, he don't have the right to say that. He don't have a right to enforce it, but I think it needs to be checked out.
We will.
I think it's terrible, because one of these days, anybody in this room can be in the same situation. It can happen tonight. And I think that ought to be looked into. I just upset me. Then I got up and there wasn't no bone broken. I was all right. I just couldn't get up. I don't think that's right on their part to make judgment.
Okay. Well, I'm glad they could help you out in your situation, and we will discuss that with our EMS.
It was not this last Friday, but the Friday before that, a week ago this last Friday. So about 8 o'clock at night, the only thing I could figure out, I interrupted their card game or something at you. That's the only thing I can figure out. And they got upset because they got the card game interrupted.
17th at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.?
About 8 o'clock at night, yeah. In that area.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for your comment.
Well, I thank you for listening to me.
Okay. For those online, that was Lloyd Meyer from Marion. Okay. Anyone else in the room wish to make public comments? Anyone online wish to make public comments? You can unmute your microphone.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not seeing anyone unmuting their microphone. We'll move into agenda approval. I did have a request for an executive session for property acquisition at the very end.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. Any other agenda changes? If not, the agenda will stand approved. We'll move into administrative. Ashley.
Okay, I have a salary sheet.
All right, this is in the ambulance department, a two-step raise with satisfactory performance after 3 months and 6 months. That would be for Madison Falk, $14.23 an hour, effective 11/28/2023, new EMTB.
And next I have the minutes for November 20th.
Okay, the commission has had a chance to review the minutes of November 20th meeting. Any additions or corrections?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Garing to approve the November 20th minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Becker. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Good.
And that's all I have for administrators.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, Jeremy, if you're ready,
All right, I am.
have you come up to the
All right.
microphone for those online.
That's gonna be addressed
Okay.
by Thursday.
Okay,
Sounds like.
we're getting closer to the
All right.
microphone system.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you. Before I start though, we were gonna partner with Network Kansas. So this is about the Destination Creation course. And Destination Creation was brought by John Schallert. Many of you may remember John Schallert's Destination Boot Camp. He was here in Marion at about 2018, where he did a course over at the city building. But we're partnering with Network Kansas. I have Sierra Miller here. So she is the regional director for Network Kansas in the South Central region. And just want her to talk a little bit about Network Kansas so you guys kind of understand the whole picture.
Appreciate that.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
I'm Sierra Miller. So I work with Network Kansas. We are a 501c3. We receive funds from the Kansas Department of Commerce. We were actually created in 2005 as part of the Kansas Economic Growth Act. And the act is to have some economic development initiatives in rural and distressed areas of the state. So about 2007, we started our e-community or entrepreneurship community program. And then in 2010, Marion and Hillsborough actually have two separate e-communities partnerships with Network Kansas. Just as some figures for you, actually those two e-communities since 2010 has approved 25 gap financing loans. That equals about $725,000. So a lot of money has been supported in Network Kansas partnerships. That's just the gap financing loan portion. We also support our e-communities with program funds. So a lot of times when those e-communities are doing work, it's usually mostly funded by some of Network Kansas dollars. But just like our gap financing, where those loans have to have a match, with our programming, we also encourage the e-communities to have some matching funds as well. Over the years, we've done a lot of programming with the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge event. A few years ago, we did the Destination Boot Camp course. We've even supported a program called Ice House, so talking about the entrepreneurial mindset. So we've done a lot of partnerships with our e-communities in Marion County. And then Destination Creation, Jeremy will talk to you a little bit more about what that program looks like too.
I did have a handout here. So this is about the Destination Creation course. You guys can view that. As I mentioned, it was designed by John Schallert, and they now have facilitators that come on site. Our facilitator would be Tracy Henry, and Tracy Henry is from Council Grove. She is the executive director of the Greater Morris County Development Corporation. So she would be the one to actually facilitate and teach the course. And the cost for the course is $800 a person. It would be done in 4 different nights in 3-hour sessions. She can do up to about 20 business owners from Marion County. And so the proposal would be for each person to pay $150 up front of the $800. If they attend all 4 sessions, then they would get $75 of that back. So total cost to a business owner in Marion County, our proposal would be for $75. Sierra kind of touched on this. I did meet with Sierra and then Matt Stiles and Brad Bartle a couple weeks ago, and so the Hillsborough and Marion e-communities have each agreed to cover a total of half the cost. So Network Kansas and the e-communities would cover half, and so our ask then is for Marion County to cover the other half of the cost. The total cost if 20 people were to attend, and then meals were also going to be included because we're going to do evenings. And so our thought would be either start at 5:30 or 6, have meals included in case, you know, getting off work, you sometimes don't have time to go home, eat, and get to a meeting at night. So we were going to do meals for those attending. The class portion of it, half of it would be $77,250. I talked to Dino over at Tabor College because we would hold it over at Tabor College. He said the max that would be $22 per person. So if we have basically 20 people attend plus Tracy would be 21 meals. That comes up to $1,848 over the 4 nights. So the total max ask from the county would be $8,174, which is the $7,250, which is half of the total cost of the program, because Network Kansas is paying half. And then half of the meals also. So the total meals are $1,848, half of that is $924. So it would be $7,250, and then $924 comes to $8,174 total for the destination creation course.
So I didn't quite catch it. How many nights was it again?
It'd be 4 nights.
4 nights.
Correct.
Okay.
They run between 3 and 4 hours, depending on involvement from the business leaders and how many questions, and but about 3 to 4 hours.
So who are the students?
Any business owner in Marion County can attend, which is why we're here to ask for the bed tax dollars. Is we would like to open it up to all of Marion County, any business owner, to be able to, again.
What are we teaching them here? I haven't read the stuff.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, if Hillsborough and Marion are paying for half
The
of this,
e-community.
would they reserve 10 spots between the two of them?
We didn't really.
Open to the counny,
Okay.
that's fine,
Okay.
to the whole county.
I'm just
Yeah, good question.
seeing how many seats we're taking care of, I guess.
So the
What is
course
it?
it's.
What's the course?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
What-
wanna
what-
mention
what are
that,
we-
or you wanna?
what are we
Yeah.
teaching?
I'll just, maybe I should sit beside you or something.
Yeah.
You get 2 chairs.
You know,
Yeah.
So Destination Boot Camp and Destination Creation is now how to make your business become a destination, how to get outside people to come to the county and maybe, you know, view your
Tourism.
business. So it's a lot of marketing. You know, there's a lot of different, the whole program's based off of John Shallard's kind of 12-step program marketing strategy to become a destination business.
I went out to his class, so he actually based out in Colorado, just north of Denver. And so Marion sent, I know Randy went out, I went out, I don't remember who else
5,
from
6
Marion
years
went
ago.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
So we went out to Colorado to his class, and so it really revolves around businesses knowing how they're unique. And then, as Sierra said, being able to market that uniqueness. So what is it that, you know, that they do the best, or how do they market that? And again, to bring people from outside the county, not just outside the county, but anyone to their business. And how to leverage that.
So does that kind of feed into the tourism side of it too then?
Yes, because, yeah, the goal is, you know, obviously any business, you want to be able to grow your business. And so, again, John kind of has this 12-step process that he goes through and teaches, you know, how do you grow your business and how do you make that, you know, well-known. So different steps that he has to give business owners to be able to get the word out of their business.
Would it help,
outside the county.
would it help my business? We're not a destination, but
Yes.
we reach out and get people all over.
It would, because again, he deals a lot on the marketing side
Okay.
of things. So how do you market your business, and what makes your business unique from other printers? What else do you do?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of, throughout the county, there's a lot of businesses that I think would really benefit from it.
A lot of hidden talents in
There's
Marion County.
very much.
There is, isn't there?
And it's really great when you get multiple kind of people in the same community or near each other, or businesses, I should say, near each other. Then they can start to maybe even work together to become a destination
We got
too.
the leadership in Marion County, so that's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, people getting to know each other in
Mhm.
different parts of the county.
If we can get the businesses working together to build off each other, maybe market together. There's just so many of them that have crossovers. You know, if someone comes to visit one and they visit the other, continue to build on that. But having those skills to go out and market and make that possible.
Mhm.
You know, you're saying a transient tax can be used for this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah,
Well, that was my request
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Because it's,
where the money comes.
Again, dealing
Tina
with-
always wants to know where the money's
dealing
coming
with
from.
tourism and getting people into these businesses that would be attending the class.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
In today's culture, almost any mainstream mom and pop business would be considered unique, I would think.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, have you had restaurants do this and stuff like this, or in other counties, or? what
Oh,
kind-
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
What kind of business have you had do this?
So we've seen a lot of examples from, what am I thinking? There's a small coffee shop in Sterling, or I'm sorry, Lyons, called Brew 56. They've gone through the program and they have drawn people to the community. And like you said too, once they get there for that, maybe they go to,
Yeah.
they get gas, they get food, they get all the things. You know, Elgin Hotel has gone through the program in the past, so that's drawing in people. One of the things John talks about, or I guess in this case it'd be Tracy, she's the facilitator, but she's trained to go through John's training and then do it in person here. And this actually helps the cost, because John would cost a lot more, get him out here from Colorado. Tracy actually lives in, is it Council Grove?
Council Grove, yeah.
So she's a lot closer. Where was I going with this?
What other companies? have-
Other companies,
have
yes.
other businesses?
He's drawn a lot of people to the program to talk about, you know, sometimes when you do marketing, you might just think, okay, I put it in the newspaper, I have this and that, but one of the things John says is, let's look a little further. Maybe we do an advertisement in some place a few hours away rather than local, and that helps draw people. So he just has a lot of these little kind of tips and tricks on thinking bigger, and then maybe on, you know, their business website, instead of, maybe they have a tab that says directions, and here's how you get here from Wichita or whatever. So he just has a lot of these tips and tricks on how to become a destination, and we have seen several or lots of businesses through the state do that, and become more destinations.
John worked with, as Sierra said, the Elgin, and so Tammy, when she went through the class, was really, you know, how do you position the Elgin Hotel and what makes it, you know, unique? And so he worked with her on kind of the wording and crafting that and helping with marketing as well, so.
I'm trying to think of some others we've done. There's a business called Nell Hills in Atchison. She draws people, that business draws people from all over the state. It's a furniture store, but it has decor and things. That's been a client of his and has had a lot of success.
She ended up getting a, published in, like, I think it was the New York Times.
Yeah.
And so through different traction and marketing that John helped her with, all of a sudden she's in the New York Times and being featured, this little tiny furniture store in Atchison, Kansas. It really just kind of blew up.
Would this be something like somebody from the county lake help promote that, or
The county lake, which,
Marion County Lake, you know, if we're saying Isaac?
That'd be it's kind of a public entity, I don't think. I mean, yeah.
It's a destination.
I know what you're saying, but it's
It needs promoting.
tread
I don't know,
carefully
Sarah,
on
do you
paying
public
back
it?
the county.
I mean, if they have someone there that can make decisions and implement some of the teachings, I mean, they, I think would be a fine participant in the course.
Makes sense.
I
Yeah.
think it's a great concept. I mean, we don't have an economic development group in this county anymore, so pieces like this would certainly fit in to what needs to be done, you know, to help businesses. You know, I'm looking here at the 2022 Kansas statutes on the transient guest tax and what qualifies. And, you know, I don't know if it would be up to our county attorney to look at that, but under subsection 12-1692, promotion of tourism and convention definitions under subsection E, says convention and tourism promotion means activities to attract visitors into the community through marketing efforts, including advertising directed at least one of 5 basic convention and tourism market segments consisting of group tours, pleasure travelers, association meetings and conventions, trade shows and corporate meetings and travel. Support of those activities and organizations which encourage increased lodging facility occupancy. Of course, you know, that can all kind of dovetail together. You know, if you got people that want to come to your business from 300 miles away, chances are if you got a good place to stay, they will stay. So trying to interpret that law is a little gray.
The other part that says, except that not more than 20% of the monies credited as such funds should be expended for tourism promotion. So,
Right.
we'd have to make sure that we have more than 20, or we have 20% of the fund in the transient guest tax
That one
would
last
equal
time,
us
huh?
$8,174.
The last time I knew, we were making quite a bit of money in there.
Even though we've given some away to all the
Yeah.
communities, so I know that
We support, you know, the local celebrations.
it hasn't run out yet.
Do you know how much we have?
But, no, I don't think we
Research
should.
too.
No.
I've heard it was somewhere north of 50, but I don't
So
know if
if-
that's still
Well,
the
I think
case,
too.
depending on how much this.
But we opted Marion out.
That would be my only.
Marion wants to collect their own.
I know, but I think we got this left over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the,
But
after Marion
we
left.
still have, I think, some Airbnbs or something that provide a little bit to that fund still. So, I mean, it's not really an idle fund per se.
Yeah, so I mean, my only point is if there's only 10 grand in there, all we can do is put 2 grand towards it.
Right. I know what you're saying. I'm just thinking we got a lot more than that, but we'd have to get that.
Check.
Can you check?
I can.
Because
Would you actually?
I think
check
we
see
need to
what's
know that,
in the transit
know
needs?
that, and then we need to have county council make sure that we're doing it legally.
Yeah.
We could make a motion to approve pending staff review.
I would make that motion
Okay.
to approve pending.
Do you want to wait for the?
Yeah, you can wait.
Yeah, if we knew that.
Pending legal counsel
Because it'd have to be.
and adequate balance.
Yeah.
Just
Balance.
about 50
I'll second that.
in there in order to even
Yeah.
cover that.
But, I mean, even if there isn't, might contribute something.
So actually, while you were out, Commissioner Becker made a motion to approve the request for the destination creation course through the Entrepreneurial Center, maximum amount of $8,174,
Right.
pending council review and balance in the account. Is that the motion?
Correct.
And the second was by Commissioner Crowfoot.
Questions?
Discussion.
What was presented to the city of Marion and Hillsborough when you say they paid half?
They've agreed through Network Kansas, so that's E-communities, so Marion is an E-community, Hillsborough is an E-community, which is part of Network Kansas. And so they've each agreed to pay a total of the same cost, up to $81.74 to cover the class.
I think all of our question is what I've heard from the commission is that if somebody from Gossel, somebody from Burns or Lincolnville, or somewhere else applies for this, you know, is it all okay? Because, I mean, it's outside of Hillsborough or Marion, or it's in Marion County, and if we're spending Marion County funds, that's what I think.
Well, that's what this, the transient guest left over is Marion County as a whole. That's the reason why we've agreed to give it from Ramona.
Right.
Right.
And so that's where those funds are going.
Yeah, I don't think we can do Jonas 10 and 10, because somebody from Burns and Peabody might want it. So we can only let 6 people from Hillsborough
Yeah, I
and
don't-
4 from Marion.
Right.
I mean,
Well, yeah, I just wanted to make sure there was,
I
it was
understand
a
what you're
prelude
saying.
to what Randy said.
Yeah,
We
I
wanted to make
understand
sure
what
there
you're
was plenty
saying.
of
We don't want
seats.
just 10 people from Marion, 10 people from Hillsborough.
We want for the whole
People around the
county.
county that would like.
That is the hope with that. Obviously, someone's gonna have to, from Peabody, want to do the course.
Mhm.
But yeah, our goal is to get people from all of Marion County to be able to attend the course.
it's just up to individual cities to recruit people to do it, so.
Right.
To follow up on that, how are you going to market it to the potential business owners?
Good question. Cause I don't know that we have like a email of all
Yeah.
business owners,
Right.
So when you can do these classes,
So we're hoping to do them,
Did we say
for-
February?
Yeah, February into the first week of March. So it'd start the week of February 12th, and we'd pick a night.
so we got two months to promote it.
Correct.
You might promote that for the really small towns through the city clerks, because there's no other really way of getting that out there except through the city councils.
Yeah, the clerks are an invaluable resource.
So
Okay.
I would recommend you do that.
Can do that. Can reach out to them.
Other questions or discussion? If not, we'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Who's second?
Commissioner
Yeah.
Crowfoot. So we will have for council review, just to double check and.
Sounds great.
Sounds
get back to
exciting.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it will be.
And I guess I'm gonna challenge commissioners maybe to reach out. I know, we've got several in the Durham area. I think that would benefit from it. Different ends of the county, and it all can tie together.
Tina could provide all the names of the city clerks.
Okay, I can reach back out to Tina.
Or Ashley.
Okay.
Ashley's right here.
Yeah.
So, no, it looks like a very good opportunity. This ties right into what I think we all would like to accomplish in economic development. We just don't have a mechanism to do it.
Get more people to come to Marion County.
Yes.
If they might like it, they might stay.
And any way we can support our existing businesses and help them grow and thrive.
Right.
Well, very good. Thank you
All
for
right.
bringing this opportunity to
Thank
us.
you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Commission. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, this is a scary comment to make, but we're 15 minutes ahead on our agenda.
Isaac out there?
I don't know, is Isaac in the hallway?
So, just a rescue. I know that Tina was gonna bring this up, but she had to be gone, so the rescue funds for certain entities, like Gossel Fire, Hillsborough Fire, they usually get their allocation every year, and they were asking if we could carry it over to the second year. And so that way they could get a lot bill, which would make their stuff cheaper if they could buy a package. So still wanting to use the funds, but just wanting to use it. Carry it.
They want carrying forward.
They want to
next
carry
year.
this year to next year and then use it. And it's just something I figured, well, since she's not here, I'll bring it up. At least everybody can think about it until it gets brought up.
Through the budgetary process, I would think that would be doable.
Yeah, we just have to cash carryover.
Yeah.
Or clerk's office would have to
Think about a
encumber
bigger
the
piece of
funds.
equipment.
It's like everything else, everything costs 4 times more than it did
Well, yeah,
3 years.
they've been, in the past, they've been just piecemealing out what they could get, and then the next year they'd piecemeal a little bit. And they were never getting a full package, but they figured out if they could carry the cash over, then they would get enough of a discount that that would buy a lot.
Are you talking about rescue funds
Yeah.
and the ambulance?
Fire departments.
Yeah. Well, it's actually under the ambulance.
It's on the ambulance, yeah.
Because the state, we're in charge of it. Yeah. That's the reason why it's under that. So.
And I get it, they're trying to buy this big equipment and stuff, like battery powered and everything's $22,000. And yeah, so you get 11,000. Put a down payment on it.
What was that package that Gossel got last year, or year, I guess it was last year, or was it the year before?
2 years ago.
2 years maybe.
Time goes.
That was
around 25, I think.
that's what I was thinking, it was
And
over
that
20.
didn't even fill up a folding bench table.
Folding table.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's expensive stuff.
Yeah.
You talk about rescue funds, what is our delivery date on that 4-wheel drive ambulance?
No, it got pushed out to next year.
That's next year sometime.
We paid for that thing. We ought to be asking for some kind of discount. It could have been used Saturday.
Yeah.
All of our ambulances were out. I know of one individual that was up here at the hospital for 7 hours. I think Wichita finally came, but we were all out.
Waiting for
Everybody was out.
Yeah.
That would have been a great day to break that 4-wheel drive ambulance in.
So back to the topic that was brought up on delaying the funds, will they submit a formal request?
Yeah, so I got wind of it because the head of the fire chiefs is in my district, so
Mhm.
they passed it and just CC'd me on to Tina. And Tina said that she would address it.
Okay.
I just wanted everybody a chance to,
Good.
rather than drop it on you
Right.
that day, now make a decision.
Yeah.
No, it's nice to have this information a little earlier, so you can think about it, contemplate.
Are they gonna come to the commission? Matt or somebody?
I believe it'll be handled, I'm just breaking,
Okay.
Just a messenger.
just giving you some time to think about the topic.
Okay, appreciate that. Not reading opposition at this point because it's carried.
If they got a plan
Yeah.
and can execute the plan, and Tina we can handle it through our
Yep.
budget process, I have no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't read any opposition, but like I said, we're prepared, appreciate the heads up on it.
And I don't know whether this bigger package means more for everybody, or whether we're starting around on the first response and then the second response, I don't know where we're at on that either.
But it does make sense to me, because when I bundle my tools, I get 2 or 3 free tools.
Yeah.
You know.
Get an extra battery or something.
Yeah, so I get where they're coming from.
And it's not changing the amount.
No.
All right. Okay. I'm not seeing any opposition to that, so we'll be looking forward to that request to come through.
I tried to get through 15 minutes.
Yeah, we got 5. I don't think there's gonna be people in the public coming for the dam discussion, but at the same time, I don't want to get too far off.
Talk about the election security project.
Yeah, can we just jump that forward? I know there's a recommendation on the table.
Yeah, Ashley, could you,
If you want to.
let's do that.
So in your packet, you got the proposed election information. Minimize this.
Yeah, that's it.
Do I X out of that or minimize it? So everybody can see it.
Oh, I can see it. I got it on my screen. And anybody else on here, you can zoom in if they're online. So.
Okay. So the first two is there's security aspects and remodel of space. The security aspects is a total of $25,000. And the remodel of space, she would like to go with Jay Christensen for $6,050. And then this rework vault is also $2,500. But as of right now, because this has to be done, it's required to be done by February 1 of 2024. And so she would really just like to get approval for the security aspects and the remodel of space.
Give us much time.
Mhm.
And I mean, obviously, the construction of the one is way high, but the
Yeah,
other one.
that's way, I can't even figure out why it came in like that. And then, another question is, why didn't we, is there a reason why we wouldn't take the low bid?
Is time and quality. Time and quality. And I can attest to that one. And I would very much push to use her recommendation on that.
Okay. I just want to know.
I mean, I get along with them fine. I know what we're dealing with on the security issue and how we have to make sure that everybody's sure and satisfied with these sorts of things. And it just needs to be an upper level of quality.
And I know also on the one bid for Jay Christensen, there is for carpet replace that may not have to happen either. So that's also, that may not be the
less.
total of, it could be less. So,
I just think the taxpayers need to know
Yeah.
when we're not accepting a low bid, why.
I've accepted work from both. And I attest that one does a little bit more quality. The other one will get it done, but it needs to be some more support behind the walls. There needs to be some more quality put into what they're doing.
Other questions on the request?
Was NF Construction looking at the same specs as the other two? I mean, it just blows me away.
Yeah, I have.
Was he putting in a security system? Yes.
May have put in an extra zero.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
But I'm thinking he probably, it's too late now, all the numbers are released. But it may have been trying to be all-inclusive, and
Security system and-
even at that, it's still high if he was.
And I guess I have faith in Tina's review of it, that she's checked out all the questions, and her recommendation would answer those questions if she was here.
And so I would make a motion to go with the recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Garing to accept the proposed secure election space recommendations from Tina in the total amount of $33,550. And just to clarify, that is in the former county attorney space. Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Dahlke. Further discussion? Also, so the public knows, there is a grant. We have not secured the grant yet, but there's a good likelihood that we will get grant to pay 90%. Any other questions or discussion?
so are you approving also that rework vault?
Yes,
Okay.
the total amount of $33,550. That was your motion, correct?
Yes, as all of the accept recommendations are here.
Yep, the recommendations.
Three different bids.
Yep.
Yep. Any other discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. All right, I see Isaac is here. Come on in. Good to get in out of the snow.
Yeah.
What do you have for us on the dam today?
Yeah, so after we got out of the meeting here last Monday, I tried to contact Brian and I had a hard time last week. He actually just got back with me first thing this morning. And we kind of talked about his ideal timeline as far as coming out and doing those surveys. So what he was thinking was, if the commission wanted to, probably end of this month, he said, or end of December, after Christmas or the first of the year. is when he would like to get out there and do that survey. I do not have an official estimate. He said he'd try to get that to me today. He said realistically, he's thinking on the high end, probably $1,000 to $1,200 to come out, walk the creek, do the survey, and then put together a report with his findings, is where he thinks he was at. He said another thing that would help is, he said he's got 3 guys, but he said if he could only come out by himself and maybe we help him, as far as walking along the creek and running his equipment, so he wouldn't have to get in the creek, do those surveys, step out and do all that stuff, which I told him would be more than happy to help out there, if it'd be willing to save some money that way. So he's gonna get me something official, he said, by the end of the day today. But I did not have that, but he's thinking, yeah, $1,000, $1,200 around there on the high side to do that and get a report together.
Is that creek dry?
No.
Okay.
No. So that was his kind of the other concern there, and like he said, it's gonna depend on ice and all of that stuff, because if it's icy, he said it's easier for walking, but they're gonna have to break through it in order to get down to the bottom and figure out where those levels are. So he said hopefully, that was another thing he did talk about. I don't know, I might try to get with Tim Somerville here this week, because that creek there's still quite a bit of water in it. And he was gonna see if maybe, I know that Tim's mentioned maybe a couple beaver dams and some other stuff on there, to see if maybe we can try to break some of that stuff up in order to get the water to drop a little bit. Which I told him I would try to work on in the meantime and let him know, but either way, I know from talking to Tim and walking it, I mean, there shouldn't be anything on it deeper than maybe waist deep, but like he said, this time of year, and even if you do have waders on, it's gonna be cold. But that's kind of what he's thinking as a timeline, late December, 1st of the year. And if we wanna wait to make a decision until I can get that official estimate, we can definitely do that.
I have a question, not exceed $1,500.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Garing to allow Brian from, I can never remember the name of the company.
Environmental consultants.
From Environmental Consultants to do the survey below the dam, not to exceed $1,500. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Second, Commissioner Crowfoot. Discussions or questions?
There'll probably be 3 pairs of chest waders bought.
Make sure
You're the one wearing the chest plate.
I have a pair, so I'm set. That's what I told him. I'm ready to go, but
we had to make sure that, yeah, it might save a little bit of money, but then we gotta buy those chest waders, you know, so I had to give him a little.
Right.
You might tell Tim that Tananite works pretty good on beaver dams.
beaver dams, yeah, yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion
This
carried.
does meet our requirement.
Well, it gets us started.
Started, yeah.
Our just gets us started to have a plan.
Yeah.
We need to make that
And
plan.
if I remember right, we have until July of 2025 to have that official plan at least sitting in front of us, put together.
He can't do anything until he has a survey. done.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'd be the first step.
That's gotta be the first step, you know. Well, we appreciate it. Hope that when he does come out, the weather's a little better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually pretty nice out.
Yeah.
so-
At least it hasn't been windy, so we'll take that.
Yeah, make sure Tim's aware of everything.
Yeah, I will. We're working with him now,
Good.
cleaning all the trees out of the fence line. So, yeah, we'll stay and keep each other in the loop. So.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Isaac.
Yes, thank you.
Are you staying for the?
Yes, I planned on it.
Mike?
They're ready for you.
Well, Mike, I know it's a little early.
That's
but
all right.
If it's all right with you, we'll just go ahead and proceed.
That is fine.
We'll have you come over to the hot
Nice chair
seat,
right there.
the microphone. We do have people online. This is Mike Crane with the Friends of Marion County Lake. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Speaking from this auspicious group.
There you go.
Get enough snow for everybody. We're all kind of wild numbers, but we don't need it now. If it just turned into water so we can fill the lake. Today I want to do a little bit of a meet and greet so you know who we are.
Okay.
The reason we're here is because we understand that there are new leases coming up on many parts of the lake, that in your final review, it was discovered that you had not put an increase in for the trailers. So that's why we're here today. Again, my name's Mike Crane. My phone number, 316-207-7988.
Okay, thank you.
I've been at the lake since August of 2007 when I purchased number 11. It's currently 11, it's been several numbers since, in Fisherman Lane. So when you go through the limestone pillars on the northwest, I'm the first trailer you see. When I bought the trailer, the lease was $1,000. In 2011, by 2011, it had moved from $1,000 to $1,100. In 2011, in the summer, there was a move for a capricious increase in the rents, and to such a point that the three commissioners in this very room had no room to stand up at their own chairs because there's so many people around them. Not a good thing. That commissioned myself to establish a vehicle with which we could interact between the commission and the Trailer Owners Association. That was the founding of the Friends of Marion County Lake Association. Now, not to be confused, the websites, one website originally was ours by a member. That person is no longer a member, and the website and the name has been hijacked. So there are two of them out there, and neither one are under my direction or speak for the lake, but the Lake Association. The association is a group of both homeowners and mobile home trailer owners. The number has went up and down through the years. Currently, we probably represent 25–30% of the mobile home in the park. Well, my understanding, roughly 50% of the trailers in the park are unoccupied, unused. I'm there usually from St. Patrick's Day to about Thanksgiving. So I pretty much can know. Isaac can confirm those figures, but that's in generalities. We also have probably between 4 and 6 homeowners that are with us. When we got here, in 2007, my wife and I walked all 220 houses and mobile home parks and hung them to start the chili cook-off. The members of the association, be they being homeowners, trailer owners, and some are also trailer owners that are not part of the association, are responsible for the initiation and the bringing to fruition of most of the public events at the lake. The chili cook-off. In 2007, around 2010, the music festival started. The silent auction, the cornhole tournaments. One time we've had others that have come and gone. We've had horseshoe tournaments. We've had movie night.
Sorry about that.
That's right.
Mute the CO. No, it's up there on
Make sure I keep muted them out. Be bad. I wrote myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's muted. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that.
No, it's quite all right. I understand. Been there many times.
Electronics.
Then you say you have a very thankless task, and I appreciate what you have to do. But so look, this wants to be a meet and greet. So of that, we put in money to the lake. Well, not only money, but manpower. In the 2 dramatic storms that they've had out here, it was significant, if not the majority, mobile home and trailer owners, along with some of the homeowners and their equipment, are the ones that cleaned up the park, and they cleaned up the park the first time in time to have the music festival, to keep it from being canceled. And then it turned around, it looked like it was getting to become a history because the next year we had it on the same time. We're thinking, okay, maybe we should move it, which eventually we did. We eventually did move the timing on that. This group they've adopted Marion as a second home. They come from as far away as Hill City, multiples, Goddard, Kansas, Derby, Kansas. Myself, I'm from north end of Salina. You have a lot of Hutch and a lot of them. So we want to be here. We've came here. We've supported the community. Not just Marion proper, because it's close. Besides grocery stores and mechanic shops and liquor stores. Bought cars, had them maintained, bought mechanical systems for the trailers when they needed to be replaced. The services were all for local. So we are significant economic impact to the community. Nothing I say today should be construed as a threat. That is not it at all. This is strictly an educational, so you have something to think about. Okay, for your consideration. Some of these, we still have activities that we're still trying to resurrect the movie night. We're trying to bring in new ones. Closing down at the lake, opening up the lakes, Sunday socials, things to bring activity to it. Things to bring us at Marion into a good light as opposed to our recently poor showing in the media. When we did this in 2011, we didn't have all this social media garbage. Didn't have to worry about it. If they did, they were going to be physical. But now you have all this and you don't know who's saying it, what they're saying, and where they're from, or who they're with. So I'm doing my utmost with my group to keep them under control and quiet and make this the vehicle that is there. So I'll be most unhappy if you hear from my people outside of context. I've talked to our people, and they're reasonable people. Over half, maybe 2/3 of our existing membership are retired. So a significant jump is a burden for them. It is also end of year, so we're having property taxes of their own. Mine come in. So we're all going to be under some form of economic strain. We also understand that, so will you guys. Everybody's going to be. We're not saying that a increase is probably not due and in order, but it needs to be fair. It needs to be, there needs some rationale, not just a number out of the air. In 2011, when I stood for the committee, we asked what the expenses were that we should be considering. At that time, they told us we considered those, we considered the rent, and the county was to the good $56,000. And at the time, we were getting bad press even from the newspaper saying that the communities were supporting our lifestyle out there, which is certainly not the truth. You can see economically, we put money into it to the good, and we supported our physical nature. When asked this last go around for the numbers that should be anticipated for the expenses that we need to account for, that we need to be covered, I was given the same basic items, which were utilities, nothing other than utilities. In using those numbers, both in 2022, which was your largest, and then extrapolating our 2023 numbers from 10 months out to 12 months, by taking the trailers, we know what their full electricity usage is. So we know that's 100%. Gas usage, we're all paid our own, we're on our own meter. Water, sewer, and trash, I took, for lack of a better term, I took half of those numbers. I think that is probably high, based on, I believe most of the trash comes from the RV park and from the Lake Hall. But I did it anyway. So in putting those numbers together and taking the rent, the $1,200 rent for the 54 trailers. So the rent for the trailer was $64,800. You're being the commission, the county is still to the good between $20,000 and $23,000 depending on those years. we've asked multiple times, what do we need to include in this? We need to be paying our share, we understand that. We're professional people, business people. So, but the number keeps coming back to, this is what we were given to use, and so, as long as we're playing on the same team, that's fine. The same set of numbers, and I'm welcome to work with those when those come about. As far as the grant increases, while we as an association agree it is past due and is probably necessary, to show that we're just not sneaking around in the dark, I started in 7, it was 1,000. We went to 1,050, went to 1,100 in the span of 4 years. In the span of another year, it went to 100, and we asked at that time, because that's when we had this big blow up, we asked for a 3-year hold on that, and it was granted. So when 2015 come around, we asked the sitting superintendent, Mr. Hudson, if we needed to go through process or if what they were thinking. It's my understanding, he spoke with the commission, he came back and said, no, they're good where you're at. Now, bear in mind, by the time 2015, all these functions are going on. All these money-raising functions are going on. Good public image, using that. So, that was in 15. In 16, we came back again. In 17, we came back again. After that, it was kind of like, if it's a problem that needs to be addressed, we'll let you know. Okay. Now Mr. Hatt has taken the chair out there. He and I speak quite often. With regards to this, so that he's on there, he has been good enough. The people just love him to death. They think we think enough this raise is going to him, we'll go for a bigger raise. That's fine. But we know it can't be the way it works. This meeting for the association, it meets twice a year on scheduled times. Labor Day, I'll get it back in right. Memorial Day and Labor Day, Saturdays at 10 o'clock at the pavilion. You are more than welcome. We have invited in earlier years past the commissioners. You're certainly welcome there. 1 or 2 commissioners has showed up over time. They're always invited to. We'd like them to judge the chili cook-off, to do things like music festival. We want to put you out. We announce you from the stage. If you recognize me, I'm the barker at the music festival. I'm the guy that does all the talking and makes a fool out of himself. But every circus needs a clown, and that's how I got to. So that is how we got to today. Isaac comes to those meetings. He's been good enough to come to those meetings since he has been as superintendent, has updated us on what goes on in his life, what the dam problems, the water problems, the putting in the fish. He's excellent at it. We love him to death. They'll do anything for him. I think sometimes he's too nice because he should tell them just to go away. I'm not talking particularly friends of mine, but not members of the association. So with that in mind, I have, I would like for you to, if there are numbers that I need to address and coming up, what do we think is a rational number that I can send to our people? I can put before them and say, are you willing to do this? I don't, some are going to say yes, some are going to say no, but if there's a group, if we say that, then we are the open-ended public face of the mobile home park. We are backed by some homeowners, not randomly. The fact that somebody does make like it, they have been offered multiple times to become members of this. The fact that we don't do all kinds of things, and I'm going, well, what do you mean we do all kinds of things? We do all these others. Well, they don't want to do that. We want something done for them. Well, what do you want to do for you? They don't know. These people of the association, not only Plymouth Park, when we have destitute properties out there, they went in, we've cleaned them up, mowed them, and taken care of, just for the general purpose of making a better looking lake and to keep the nuisance from us. So we believe we're a valuable part of the community. We wish to continue that. We would certainly like to have to know and whenever it is, you come up with a number and the rationale for that number, so it's not arbitrary and capricious. Like I said, right now we know you're to the good. We also know that number has gone down. If we're at 56,000 back in 2012, and now you're about 20,000 or 20 or 23, you know, obviously, a lot of money's been eaten up somewhere. Okay? At the same time, this very body itself has almost doubled. Went from 3 commissioners, 4 commissioners, to 6 commissioners, to 5 commissioners. Clerk, I got 6 bodies. Okay, thank you. So I would like that. I would like to, like again to see you on the December the 4th meeting, unless we kind of go, you just give us a number and we say, great, we can live with that. I'll do what I can to pitch it. It is not our people that are not paying rent. It's not our people that Isaac has to go out there and run down. Our people are paying they pay in advance. They pay a quarter, they pay a year, they pay half a year. Most all there's one, I think 2 that are new that have to pay the full year. But I think most are on the quarterly plan. Some go, we're about let's just get paid. So we'd like to know where that is, where that's going, and why it isn't. Why this increase? And again, I believe we're reasonable people. If I know, then I will do what I can to sell it to our group, to get feedback from them. So if this number should happen to a number to be considered between now and the 4th, certainly let me know. Y'all got my number. Let me know what you're thinking, why you're thinking. When we do the math, something we think we level, certainly pitch it to you. We understand we don't have a drop day say in this. However, I know they're saying, hey, look what these trailers are selling for. 4. 3, I believe, of the last 6 trailers are sold. Yes, we're over 40,000. They were the nicer trailers and were worked up. That's not the majority of them trailers are. Certainly not mine. So I don't think it's like real estate. Okay, the fact that it sells for it doesn't mean it's worth it. Okay, but they're safe. The houses. We enjoy our time here. We like being here. So with that, I'm sure we're in past my time allotment. Any questions specific that I can address to you? So I'll open up to you.
Questions? When you say last time the rate was increased?
12.
2012. So it's been 11 years.
Yes. But bearing in mind, it wasn't because we didn't ask. And in the meantime, okay, like I said, you know what we do. You know that's easy enough to figure out the number, find the numbers. You know what the economic impact for those functions are alone. Not to mention back in 2011, the sitting president at the time, and I was the vice president, even though I was the one sitting and set the charter up, is the I believe the economic impact number was running about $250,000. That might have been 3. I heard numbers on some go 3, 4, and I go here 4. It's like an auction. But probably 250 is a good number to use for back then. If now it's even more when they're paying $6,000 for a mechanical system because the trailers, they are old. You gotta have a package here. I have a very good friend, and the late Bob McCurdy, which is one of the founders of the music festival, buys his car in Hillsboro. Use mechanic shops here and in Hillsboro. I think we silver line the poor place over there at the Coburg over at Peabody. Sure, Randy sees a lot of our locals over there for the different festival things going on. And so I'm sorry, I've rambled. Go ahead.
No, do those trailers pay property tax like everybody?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
My property tax has went up on my trailer. About 65%.
What is that?
Since 2007 to now.
What is that dollar value?
160 range.
160 a year.
I have probably
Is that
one of the
average?
oldest. No, I don't know what the others are paying. I know some are paying much more than that, some are in the several $100s. I said mine is a 1968. Mine is probably one of the oldest being used, we'll say, trailers in the park. We have some, we have two, at least two, if not, no, we got 1, 2, 3, maybe, 3 at least, maybe 4 brand new trailers. When I say brand new, they were bought, manufactured, brought in and set. There's a few, maybe a few, a couple, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 more that are in the 70s, 80s range, of the 80s range, and then the rest are all. Right now, they just set up so that they, when my trailer's done, my trailer can't be used anymore, then it can't stay. And in Kansas, it's got to go completely out. Okay. However, I think it's 1976 is the HUD stickers, and I think that's the date they use. So now we need to be a 76 or newer if it's brought into the park. And at the time, that would have been done when we first got there because we wanted to have 35-foot, 35-foot, want to bring it in, set it up, do that. And they go, can't do that. By what the laws were at that time, by the lease laws. A couple other little things that I'm sorry to be jumping back on this because I'm doing this all on the fly, is it's been commented to me a few times for the ones that don't really like the fun parts of the lake, for lack of a better term. That, it was a different world than when Dale and Sissy Snelling were on the show. They ran a type ship. And I believe they did. I've met Dale, and he's a nice enough guy. But at the time we got here, nothing. I mean, it was just for the trade owners and stuff. They all lived there, they enjoyed it. That was it. There was nothing else going on. There was no community activity that went on. Okay, the fireworks show was started with you all, then it fell apart, and it is our people that have resurrected it and particularly funded it. We try not to come to you for money. If we do, it's you pay the money and we'll put the labor type of stuff. So we're really looking to work with projects. Another piece, and I do not remember the year, the old commander's house, for those of you who've been around for a long time, was the blue house. That's where the pavilion's set. When we got here, it was used as a maintenance shop. It was hazardous, biohazardous, physically hazardous, nuisance, and rat infested. We got together with people, both homeowners and trailer owners, figured out what the rules would let us do, what the laws, the legal laws say Kansas would let us do, because it was asbestos site. We come in, we manned up, we removed the asbestos, we packaged it and properly disposed of it according to state regulation, and cleared the way so that Mr. Hudson could use county equipment, which he was more than capable of operating, and level it. Then we've come back in and over the time, one donation for him and one from I think another homeowner is how the covers got there, and then built the fire pit in the middle. We then have come down there. We've paid for the light. We've paid installed the lighting and the fans and that stuff. Yeah, that's when we say the pavilion. That's kind of what that term is for. It's used by all people throughout the park. It's not reservable. The music festival go there. It's all the time. That's where we have our fish fries. The RV parks, when they have their family get-togethers there, we'll come over and commune there. So those are good things that are good.
Mike, you bring up the economic impact, which I think we all realize. And the numbers you quote is, I'm not saying they're not legit. To me, they're a soft number. We don't have that kind of information in front of us often enough when we have to look at do we raise rates, when we don't raise rates. What we have to look at is, okay, what are we facing here in the future that's gonna cost us sizable dollars? But we don't have those soft figures that you have to help us to legitimize what we're doing.
Well,
And, I don't know if those are, they're
not
not hard numbers, they're soft numbers. I'm not saying you're not accurate, because you probably are.
if if you allow me, the numbers that I told you are the numbers that have been made available to me by the superintendents. They're only utility. I know they're soft. That's what we're asking you. Give us something. I mean, what is the apportionment for, and again, I understand your position, but once you've got them, then we can actually come up, use that number. I mean, what is it? I am an insurance adjuster by trade, did it for 30 years. And then I was a builder before that, and a businessman in manufacturing before that. So I have a wide width and breadth and business owner of these things, but I knew that the county, particularly this board, was exposed to huge liability when we started doing all these things. And we told our people, we can't, but the county's gonna have to do it. Okay, so obviously there's some, we know the liability is an issue. We know that, you know, we said, hey, kick that trailer out of there because they're a nuisance. We understand that you guys had legal issues that you just couldn't overcome because those things weren't in place. So we understand that's why we're doing, why y'all are doing the new leases and that. We don't disagree with that at all. What we're trying to do is come up with a number, you know. Understand, we're trying to understand the number one, where you come up with your number, how you come up with it, and not just guess whether it's, I don't know, consumer price index, you know, which that's inflation, that's everybody's. You know, well, our numbers that I quoted you were only to show that at face value, and the commission, the county is not supporting us, they're not carrying us, that we are an economic gain for the county, and believing that we probably could be more. But you can't, we're an easy target. We're an easy target, literally. And I'm speaking for the association members. I cannot speak necessarily for these other individuals, and I certainly can't speak for the almost half of the trailers that are never occupied. I have no obligation on that. That was not the charter that this body gave me. So that was the only reason for the numbers. And these are based on the very numbers we'll put in front of you within the last 30 days or so. They're strictly utility numbers. That's all we had to work with last time. But for the other thing, obviously, it costs money. HR costs money. But we can't wholesalely also take all of those things and go to front lake. Because we gain nothing by the maintenance of the lake, taking care of the lake. And along the lake, you know, I say this in the kindest of terms, not even mean, but my great displeasure is the fact that when we bought here, we didn't understand the situation with the water. And that's okay, we thought maybe it'd get better. Okay, I was to bring my nephews, my nieces, my friends' children and grandchildren, pets and everything else. You can't get in the water consistently. Blue-green algae is a long and ongoing problem. It is an hugely cost-prohibitive, expensive problem to even try to address. So it has come to the point for me, it's a nice place to have a barbecue, have a few beers, and watch some pretty water. Great. We're meeting with friends, and we're good at that. That's why we're still here. But it never became, for myself, and for a few others, that place for the kids to complain, which in the time back to Dan Snelling, a lot of those owners, a significant amount of those owners had bought the thing thinking that they would pass it to their kids, and that's why they're empty, because the kids didn't come. You know, it's just the way life got. They all got to playing games, they moved away, the grandkids and them have no history with the lake. The history is now generationally gone. And so you have, I mean, they're kept up. They're nice. I mean, there's only about 3 or 4 that we've had to consistently keep an eye on. But in a patient blood, that bunch still pay their rent. But as they age, eventually they're going to have to do something, I guess. So,
Mike, we've gone quite a bit past our time, but
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We had a good. I think your mission was accomplished in introducing yourself and explaining more about the mission of the group. We appreciate that. We have worked with Isaac and come up with a number that we felt was very reasonable in light of the time frame, in light of increased expenses we've been facing. So I guess I'm going to leave it at that. If Anyone else has a comment?
So are you, am I understanding then you're standing on 1,600? You're gonna do a $600 increase, $50 a month?
18.
18?
Yep.
18, and then, I mean, that's based off the utilities and the increases that we're receiving. The other thing is you break it down by the, said 2012 was the last time it was ever adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be $25 per year since 2012, or $25 per
12 years.
month over the last 12 years.
There you go.
And then that's less than a 2.1%
That's not the last
inflation.
12 years. 15, we had a freeze on it till 15.
Right.
Now you take the number you got, and we did it 2000, in 2000.
But what I'm saying is if they would have increased it in the past, over the years, like they probably should have, right? The trailer owners have saved like $1,050 through the years by not having those increases. That's what I'm getting at. It's just breaking it down to where, yeah, this is a huge increase, but it should have been increasing through the years.
Well, you're saying it should have went $25 a year for each year?
Well,
Is that-
incrementally rather than having a huge jump.
Because there's no jump, I mean, we were good until 15, okay? The increase in 12 and 15, we had a freeze on it till then. So you go from 15 to now, that is what, 8? So, 8, so that's 4,
So 2008, it's still less than
no, not 2008, 8 years.
Or 8 years, it's still less than $50 per month, per year.
But again, that's just kind of arbitrary and capricious.
No, we've looked at the increase in expenses. We're gonna be having to put long-term improvements in on electrical services. We're gonna be having to make investments. We're making significant investments around the lake. And as part of the enjoyment of the lake, it would be right that part of that, carry part of that expense. I mean, we're making significant improvements and investing a lot of county dollars out there.
We haven't in a while though.
That's for the past commission, that's not for the current commission.
You take a 2011 and you adjust it for the consumer price index, compounded. That individual compounded, it's only, it's $1,511. Not $1,800.
That's
Okay, you're
consumer
talking a
price
50% increase. You're talking a 50% wholesale increase. If you want to do this incrementally, bounce that over some time, that might be swallowable. But the consumer price index, look them up, did the numbers, earn on the 12, and compounded.
Year after year.
After year.
And then put that.
2015.
in the next year.
Yes, I compounded, yes, absolutely.
That's, I'm just going off of 2%.
15 allowed.
Pretty light.
CPI wasn't above those numbers, hardly any above 1 or 2% until the last couple of years. Okay, which was COVID years, which was whatever you want to say. We got some 4.7 and then 8.0
And since
in there.
2020 is 8%.
I believe it was.
Any other questions from the commission?
I'd just like to say that on the 2012 deal, when we went up to that, he's calling it a freeze. And I don't think the commission looked at, we just said that we would not raise it. I don't know. We wasn't freezing it, we would take the raise that we got and go for those 3 years. And we wouldn't raise it again, so that's,
And then you didn't raise it in 16.
and we didn't raise it.
You didn't raise it in 17.
Right.
Yeah. So you look at all that and those raises that didn't come and compound that on top with interest and certain things. I mean, there's a lot of value here that goes either way.
In 2015, the consumer price index was 0.1. It's 12.12. In 16, it was 1.3. 12.27. 2017, 2.1. That moves it to 12.58.3. 2018, it was 2.4. That moves it to 12.83. In 19, it was 1.8. That moved it to 13.06.70. In 2000, love that COVID stuff. That was 1.2 and it moved it to 13.21.88. In 21 was a dramatic jump. We should have had somebody hung over this deal in Washington. 4.7. That jumps it to 1384. In 22, it was 8%. We're our patriotic fathers of revolution. That moves the number to 1494.72. In 23, it was 3.2, which moves us to 1542.56.
So you,
Prediction on 2024?
Don't have.
so you're asking
Because that's
for
what we're making
cheaper
the increase.
rate,
making
and
the
then,
decision.
I mean, you'd be happy with 1,600 instead of 18?
Well, we're making the increase for 2024, and so they're using the index. You've got to put in for next year.
That's right, but even if you jump at the number, which is 8, you're only talking another 100, that would put you at about 16, right at 1,700, be a little short of where you're at. Okay?
So we're pretty close then.
But, again, the number, I'm not understanding where, you can show us where this at, we certainly, we don't want to raise a stink over it, okay? But I think the will raise a stink to find out why. I mean, the fact that it's a mobile home park in the state of Kansas, Statute 58 applies to that, to us. It's on the timing, the amount, why you can do things, why you can't do things, as landlords and tenants. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't go through those things. I have read them, I know what I think it says. Let's see if I can find the one I want to read you here. Okay, Kansas statute regarding rate increases, 25-2572. Okay. Landlord may increase rent if such rent increases is made in good faith to compensate for expenses incurred, acts of God, public utility service rate increases, or other increases in the cost of operation. That's what we're asking for, is that's the thing. Show us, tell us.
I mean, we clearly have all those things. So, I don't know, just the utility alone is 90 somewhat thousand.
Okay, I don't think you're breaking out though, but we don't know for all of them, okay? And we do the utilities.
I think we'll be pretty good with the cost of living, what, you said 1,700, we're at
The CP
1,800. I mean, it's not a negotiation,
No, I mean, he's right, it needs to be
Yeah.
fair, but it is, we're $100 different.
but we're, got Blacktop Road, we got Isaac's,
And
got 3 helpers out there, they do a little bit for you guys probably, I don't know what. And you do a lot for them. So
Right now, I believe you can document, if you just do consumer price index alone, you could document 1550, okay? Then turn around and adjust it when new CPI comes out. You're gonna make a windfall. Right now, you're pulling just short of 65 grand. And you're gonna take 54 times another, 350.
So you're suggesting we take consumer price index and just keep raising it year after year?
No, you do it as a sectional, you do it every 2 years, every 3 years, something of that nature. Make adjustments for it, so that you have time to work, so that you're not caught every time CPI goes up, or there's some new insurance, or there's something, whatever, and you get.
But CPI doesn't take into account the improvements we make. Utilities are completely different. We're gonna see a huge increase in electric rates next year.
We're saying
And we're
fine.
a year behind on billing.
Let's look at it. 2022.
Yep.
So there's magic. In a generous position, we took 50%. Trailers took 50% of the water, sewer, and trash, which is inordinate, but we did it in my calculations. And we took the trailer park electricity. We pay our own gas, so that's not a factor. In 2022, the largest of the years, water, sewer, and trash, half of those items. All of the mobile home park electricity was $4,100, $766.70. You took in rents at $1,200 apiece for 56 of $64.80, clearing you at $23,033 for a gross profit of 35.5%. 22. In 23, taking half again, a generous half of the water, sewer, and electric, you were at, and then paying all the mobile home electricity for the park, for the mobile home park, $44,177.92. Again, getting $64,800 from the lease on trailers. In 2023, based on utilities alone, you're projected to clear $20,622.08. Those figures were extrapolated from the 10 months to a 12-month figure and calculated.
What is the price of land? I mean, what's the land that the county owns? Should that be depreciated out or something? Some value to that?
You own the land. You
I
own
know,
the, we own the
but-
trailers, you
no,
tax us
but
on the
we had
trailers. So we
money
pay
in it.
tax on the trailers and we pay our utilities, and in those figures, with our lease, we're paying a huge share of. And over the, oh, sorry.
When the trailer caught fire, burnt the utility, all those repairs, the stuff that had to be done, who picked up the tab on that? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but, I mean, this is
That
a
was
piece of
trailer
history.
owner's deal that caused infliction on the county, the rest of the
It wasn't.
taxpayers.
Those things were all to have done years before I even got there.
Right.
The cities that go not
But
done.
still, it's something that came at the rest of the county's expense.
The other thing we've done since all of this dealings with back in 15 and so is we just had one full-time employee, which was the general person, and Steve Hudson, I believe, or
Yeah, Hudson.
shortly after that, took the other two employees and made them full-time employees. And so that's something else of our expenses that's not figured in here, that we've added to that and things, and so. Yeah, I know where Mike's at. I've heard one commissioner in here just roughly say, you know, maybe we do this in a 2 or 3 year thing, just like we did this. It's not a freeze, it's just, we did it just because we said that's what we would do. And so, if we're at 15 something now, and next year's gonna be 16 something probably with the CPI.
Maybe it's 16 already, 17.
Oh, I thought it
No,
was-
no,
it was
you're
15
right now, you're at 1542.
Yeah.
Well, if we take CPI back to 2011,
Okay.
just because we froze it doesn't mean you can't use that CPI.
Right, so that would be a certain percent more, but somewhere in the same way we did it last time. is
2012.
Yeah, back then, in 2012, we took that rate and went from there and did a freeze. I'm proposing, what I heard from another commissioner is, the other day, is maybe we take a rate from now and go up $100 a year for the next 3 years, each year. And maybe that takes care of CPI, or we decide whether CPI is our base then for all of this, let alone, so.
Brought up CPI, so that could be an easy one, just figure it every year. And then it doesn't get dropped for 11 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Or how about using utility rate increases?
Well, yeah, and there's 4%. I mean, the electric bill just went up 4%.
Don't you have more important things to do than worry about the $25 a year raise?
No, that's what I'm saying, you just tie it to the CPA.
I mean,
Okay, and so the CPI doesn't, only one time does it justify $100 a year.
Right. But what I'm saying, if we just tie it to CPI, then we wouldn't have this discussion year after year.
but we're setting a bad precedence, and they're gonna negotiate with each group that comes in and wants, say we're charging too much. We do the taxpayers, to landowners.
Yeah.
No
People
different.
charge for gravel.
And we're gonna not do any more improvements at the lake?
Saying CPI almost figures for that.
Yeah, just don't raise it for
CPI
us.
compound and then
It will be
I mean, I don't get to gripe about my taxes.
If we don't do it, we're gonna cut something.
Yep,
So we gotta do improvements.
that's what I'm saying.
Landowners,
Well,
Me too.
I was
Pay for
anyway,
trouble.
but I still have a little bit, but I don't gripe about my taxes. And it went up too.
Looking at the trash is more than doubled in 4 years. 100% increase.
And in this calculation I gave you, we took half of that and we don't generate half of that trash.
But I'm saying that doesn't
Well,
compare to CPI of whatever it was for the last 4 years. Same way.
I don't know, at 8%, well, I didn't even realize that when I was working on these numbers.
8% is still
Yeah,
different than
exactly.
100%.
You pay according to what you use.
we've got,
Well, and look what happened.
yeah.
Then they can gripe
Electric
about
wants
how
a
high their
14%
bills
if they can get it.
You know, for years, many of the trailers couldn't use air conditioning because they wouldn't replace the transformer out there. The lines down Pine Tree, which is the very west line, half of that one was all supposed to be put underground before I ever got there, which again was what this fire's about.
I live under the
Wasn't
windmill.
underground, wind, blah, 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 blah.
That's part of the thing we need to do.
For $35
We need
million.
to, we need to take all that underground. We need to do all those
Yeah,
things.
and it was also done back then,
Yeah.
you know. For whatever reason, they just kept kicking that can down the road and it didn't get done, and unfortunately.
And we're not planning to kick it down the road. We're planning to
That's what we're trying to
do
plan
our
out how to
stuff
pay
and
for
make
it.
our improvements and do what we need to do and treat it like it's supposed to be treated.
It's too expensive.
And you've got that number on that, same time.
Well, just, some of the improvements that we're doing is 50 grand already, and that doesn't come close to covering what we need to do, so we're going to spot it ahead of time.
What kind of improvement are we looking at 50 grand, if I may ask?
That's on RV stuff, it's not.
On what?
It's on RV stuff. It
Right, you're
isn't-
gonna replace the mark, okay, which should be self-supporting, it has nothing to do with the trailer. And then if we promoted for all these years that they should increase the rentals,
But
not to mention the parks
if
and
we do
benefits.
that for the RVs, what do you think the trailers are gonna cost?
You're gonna update the trailer electric too?
If
Is that what I'm
we
hearing?
have to take some of that underground, above head, overhead, underground, some of that stuff. We need to make all these improvements. We need to treat it like it's a real trailer court. Not completely real, where you can stay there all the time, but we still need it to be
So
up to
if I
par.
don't wanna pay that, you know what, I don't go there.
Oh, really? But if you do, you do.
Exactly.
All right.
So you're saying when you do that, then if you're gonna increase the power, then every trailer park's gonna, individual trailer's gonna have to bear the expense to bring the swinging overland in to the trailer? Cause I don't know what's underground. I don't know if I don't know if we're up in the amperage or if we're different in the rest of that, so that's what I'm getting at. If you're doing that, it's saying, you look at what the impact actually gonna be on the individual trailer owners. If you provide us better service, may not get better service because we have to have bigger, we have to rewire, we have to do this thing. Some of those can and some cannot be done in the RV nature.
Trailer houses should have 100 amp minimum.
Oh, yes, I would believe they should, yes.
That's a
100 and a quarter in the
that's-
houses, yeah,
That's
more
a
than that.
national electric code, and if you're not following it, then you're breaking some other rules.
Well, your grandfather didn't because of the age of the trailer, okay? You don't agree with the trailers up the code, you do before you put them in, but not that time.
All right, any other
So-
discussion? If not, Mike, thank you for coming in.
So may I ask what the decision is? Is this a dead deal? Is this a done deal? Are you gonna consider it?
Action was taken at the last meeting, I don't see any consensus to change that action.
So the action taken last meeting was you're gonna raise the rent to $1,800 a year for the term. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next thing on the agenda was county councilor, he's not here today, so that brings us to executive session.
Well, it's supposed to be, but I guess she ain't here.
How long did you want, Randy?
Yeah, I've been fighting for years. I'd say 15.
Okay. I move that we recess the executive session in order to discuss potential property acquisition pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, which would be item 6, preliminary discussion acquisition of property with commission. Do you want Ashley to stay in?
No, you don't have to.
Okay. Have that, okay. So with the commission for 15 minutes, 2:05 to 2:20.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. 5-0. We will be back at 2:20.
Thanks for getting that on.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we are out of executive session. No decisions made. That concludes our regular agenda. Do we have someone in the room? Would you like to make public comments?
Who, me?
Yes.
No, I think I already made it.
Okay, fair enough.
That was just to throw some humor into
Okay,
it.
I appreciate it. But if you had something to say, I didn't want to.
If you think it's a good idea, you can use it.
All right.
I don't charge for my ideas.
Any commission comments? Hearing none, I move to, schedule. Payday, it will be November 30th, Thursday at 9 a.m.
This Thursday.
Correct.
Sorry about that.
Also, you have your leadership.
And we have the leadership meal or celebration
That's
that
in
night.
Florence.
At Florence at 5:30.
Thursday night, right?
Correct.
5:30.
Yes.
I'm a remote interpreter.
Okay.
Just-
Because I think that's all that's going to be on.
I might be the guinea pig for the new one.
We'll make it. So since our payday is on a Thursday, we then have our regular meeting on December 4th.
Yep.
All right, with that, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.